friends. So today was day 1 for the Tombs and Tomes scavenger hunt thing that I'm doing as part of the TBR Harvest over on Leandra, the TBR Zeros channel. So the first prompt was black, cause Tombs and Tomes is a cover challenge. So black color was the first challenge for the day, and I ended up hunting, because I can't really read some of the books, but I ended up hunting Revelry in the Dark by, I think it's M.G. Ellison, I believe. It's either M.G. or M.C. It's hard to tell with certain fonts. That is the book that I have hunted right, where is it? Right there. Yep. So, Revelry in the Dark by, I believe, M.G. Ellison. A Westwood Legacies Book 1. And, let's see. The best time for a fresh start is during the crisp, clean autumn. This would actually be a very good book for me to read around this time of year. Let's see. At least that's what Georgie Miller keeps telling herself. After the death of her father the previous spring, Georgie's anxiety hit an all-time high, forcing her to leave the university she had been enrolled in. Now she has the opportunity to attend a different school, following him in her brother's footsteps at the prestigious Westwood Conservatory. The school is known worldwide for two things: the rigorous academic standards to which it holds its students, and the numerous stories of the ghosts that haunt its campus. As a transfer student, Georgie attracts the attention of everyone at school, including the enigmatic Professor Decker and his esteemed yet reclusive teaching assistants. The question at hand: will Georgie be able to get the fresh start she so desperately craves, or will the ghosts that haunt her, old and new, drag her into the darkest depths of her insecurities? Honestly, I might add this to this month's TBR, because my goal for today was to reach page 50 of The Lost World by Michael Crichton, and I did end up getting that. So who knows, I might end up reading that at some point this month, but who knows. Prompt number 2, let's see. Prompt number 2 is birds on the cover. So I need to find a book that has birds on it. So I did a little bit of digging, and it seems either I start rereading an old series of mine, or I can just hunt A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I have already read this one, and the old series of mine is called The Brother Band Chronicles, and their ship is called the Heron, which is obviously named after a bird. So either I reread that, which it doesn't really have birds on the cover, or I mark this one as hunted. Again, I'm doing day 1 and day 2 at the same time, because I just got back from work, and it is 2:30 in the morning, so I am counting day 1, because I had found Revelry in the Dark before I left for work, so I am counting that, and I'm doing day 2 because it is also day 2, technically, if you want to get into it. So, I don't really have too many things that have birds on the cover. I will probably be doing a little bit more digging through my entire TBR because I only have 3 bookshelves and not all of the books that are on my TBR are on these bookshelves. So I will need to do a little bit more digging on that one. But for now, I think I'm just going to count Songbirds and Snakes as hunted, because I already read it, technically. Or I could just do Red, since I did read it. I think I read it earlier this year. It was either this year or last year that I read it. I think it was last year. During, like, a TBR-a-thon that I had participated in, so there is that. So I will see you guys tomorrow for an official diagnostic on, I guess, which book I decided to mark off on the thing. So I'll see you guys later. So it is technically the next day. It is daylight out, and I gotta leave for work here in a little bit. But I also realized that I went through my TBR on Goodreads, or I looked up books with birds on the cover, and I realized that Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets also has a bird on the cover. So I am actually going to read that. So since I've already read Songbirds and Snakes, I have not read the Harry Potter series, but I plan to. So Chamber of Secrets is on my TBR, so I might read it this month. Just 'cause, technically speaking, it has a bird on the cover, and I think it also takes place during Halloween. At some point they celebrate like Halloween festivities and whatnot. I'm just basing that off of the movie. I have no idea how the actual book is, because I've never read it before. So there's that. So day 2 is birds on the cover, and I will have Chamber of Secrets. I will actually begin reading that today, probably. So, hooray! So today was day 3 of the Tombs and Tomes challenge for Leandra's TBR Harvest readathon. And I decided to do Shield of Sparrows by, what's her name? Devney Perry, I think her name is. So yeah, that's what I chose. I chose to hunt it, cause I did a reading schedule, and I think the rest of this month, after I finish all of my TBR books and stuff, I am gonna have to try and play catch up with a lot of the books that I was either supposed to read or am technically still currently reading, such as The Red Fox Clan, Brenna Morgan, Queen of Nothing. I haven't finished that yet, and Dragons of a Fallen Sun. I'm trying to find audiobooks for a lot of them. I have access to Queen of Nothing, but I need to find an audiobook for Dragons of a Fallen Sun, which is War of Souls, Volume 1. So I need to figure out how I'm going to, whether or not there's an audiobook for it. There's the shadow of the kitty. That is Luna. My cat, I have the door open, as you can see, so they're running around. And they have access to this room now. Because it is cold. So I'm wearing the sweater underneath my bathrobe because it is very cold and they haven't covered the air conditioner yet. So I'm just waiting until they do that so I can start up the heater. Basically, I'm waiting until I have permission to start up the heater. And until I do, I am not turning the heaters on. So yeah, today was day 3. I chose Shield of Sparrows by Daphne Perry. And that's about it. Tomorrow's prompt is any animal. And so I will probably have to look on my want to read list on Goodreads for something like that. Even though I've already technically chosen day 4 and 5's books. So, yay. So that is a progress update for you guys. And I will see you guys in the next clip. Hi friends. So it is day 7. I was unable to film day 4, 5, and 6. So this is just the clip of me catching up. So for prompt 4, it is any animal on the cover. I chose Aragon by Christopher Paolini. And then prompt number 5 was stars. So I chose To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by the same author. I'd already read both of those 2 books. So I just, so I don't really need to read them. I just marked them as hunted. And then yesterday was prompt number 6, which is Signs of Death. And if you are using this prompt in another readathon or whatever, you have to look up symbols of death if you can't find any on your bookshelf. So you have to look up symbols of death in case you're confused. Otherwise, your search engine will give you symptoms of dying in an actual person. So, you do gotta be careful with that. But anyway, for prompt number 6, I chose The Witch Who Trades with Death by C.M. Alonji. And I do plan on reading that one, actually, because I'd been meaning to read C.M. Alonji for a while. And I had pre-ordered their most recent book, Heart of Iron, which is based off of the Cafe Latte series on TikTok. So. And then today's prompt was fire, so I chose Hellburner by Mike Madden. And just because it has a ship exploding on the cover. So I counted that as fire. So yeah, this is basically just me catching up with the whole days that I missed and all that stuff. So, yay! I will see you guys tomorrow. And I will see you guys in tomorrow's clip after I post the video. So, I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.